Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to whoever you are, wherever you are, whenever you are. I hope you're doing well. It is Monday, so meaning you'll be seeing this video Tuesday. So if you're already seeing this video on Tuesday or Wednesday, I did it on Monday. So it is Monday, April 27th, 2026, and it is 4:30 where I am, where I live. Anyway, I have noticed that, well, I haven't noticed it. I know it, so I'm going to back up. I haven't noticed, I know it. Where genuality and authenticity when it comes to TV shows, they no longer exist. So when the TV first starts out, it's genuine, it's authentic, it's real. But as years go on, as seasons continue, eventually the bar has to be raised, the shock value has to be hit, and, things are no longer how they were before. Like shows like Here Comes Honey Boo Boo. When it first started out, we're watching this family that, is not like your family, but they were genuine. They did what they did. They weren't exactly, they weren't bad people in the sense of like, oh, you can't hang out with them. It looked like they were normal people who did things that were differently. I mean, the mom was an extreme couponer. Boo was a pageant queen, things of that nature. But like everything, eventually things change. Some people would say, oh, when money happens, things change. That's what happened with the Kardashians. When the Kardashians first came out, I didn't know who they were. Never heard of Robert Kardashian, O.J. Simpson. Never heard of these guys. Never heard of Kim Kardashian. Didn't know about her risque, come up, how she came to be. I didn't know about that. It wasn't until I saw the show that I learned about that stuff. My mom and I, we started watching it for whatever reason, and we would watch it. After a while, I ended up stopped watching it because it was just like, it didn't have that charm anymore. From like the first few seasons, it didn't have that charm. The same thing with Honey Boo Boo. It didn't have that charm anymore. Rob and Big, I watched it to the very end till they canceled it after their third season. Viva La Bam, after its fifth season, it was no longer with us anymore. So I saw a lot of shows back in the day that, were normal. Run's House. If you saw Run's House, you'd be like, yeah, you don't hear anything bad about this family. Like, it just, like, they were like a family on reality TV. The thing about reality TV is that the thing that's real were the people. And a good amount of it was scripted. It wasn't scripted, or it wasn't anything that seemed scripted. Nowadays, it seems scripted. Like, the reason why I say that is because, the reason why I say that is because what was it? There was a show, like Cheaters, for example. When Cheaters first started, it was real. The whole idea of the show was to find out if the spouse or lover, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, whoever, was cheating, was being caught in the act. So they bust them, they investigate it, they confront them, and sometimes it's civil, other times it's not so civil. And when I first started out, it was genuine, it was real. And as it continued, it started to be kind of like, what's going on here? But you still watched it because it was entertaining. And then eventually, just like, what the heck? I remember talking about this before I did a show. Not I did a video on this a while ago talking about with divorce court. The same thing with divorce court. Divorce court first started. It was real. You had these couples, wanting a divorce or trying to figure out what's going on, why it's not working, trying to figure stuff out. And after Faith Jenkins, Judge Starr came to play, and her segment, because she played the judge, looked a lot more fake than real. I know when Judge Toller came in, from what I had heard, she was the longest running judge. And she told it like it is. Like, this woman didn't give, she did not care if you had to justify it. She would tell you as it is. That's BS. The same thing with Faith Jenkins. Faith Jenkins goes, I have very little sympathy for you. You're not going to get it from me. She didn't play either. But she ended up leaving the show because she ended up child. She wanted to be a mother to her child. Ain't nothing wrong. And when, I think Star Jones, I think that's her name. When Star Jones came to play, it seemed more like those really cheap ass reality TV show judges. Almost like when I heard Jerry Springer was doing judge, it was Judge Jerry. I was like, is that even legal? Is he even qualified to be a judge? Is this legal? No, this is fake. Now it's like anyone could be a judge. That's not good. No one can be a judge. And a lot of these people, these judges on the divorce court, they were actually worked with law. They were either a prosecutor, a lawyer, or whoever. They worked with the law. Judge Jerry, I don't know if he worked with the law. Did he work with? But yeah, when she came out, and I'm not saying Judge Starr ruined divorce court. I'm just saying it now seemed like it started getting scripted. Really, really scripted. The same thing with Cheaters. It was kind of funny when I said Cheaters, when Peter Pankey, weird name, but that's what it was, when he came to play, it was really, really scripted. Like, you could tell. Like, there were just some things that were just like, what the heck is this? It wasn't like, I remember Joey Greco, when he was hosting the show, they caught the guy doing something wrong. The guy's like underwear running, goes into a nearby laundromat and steals a purse, goes into a person's dryer, steals a pair of pants, runs out of there, and the person who's trying to get it is like, did he just steal? You never see the guy again. And then all of a sudden, the guy runs into a dumpster and finds him there, and the girl finds him there. She goes, what are you doing? And then because he wants to stay with his ex-wife or ex-girlfriend, whomever, she goes, yeah, that was pretty funny when he went into the dumpster. What an idiot. Oh my God. Yeah, Peter Pankey came around. It was just like, are you serious? And then there's this other show called Caught in the Act, which is like Cheaters, which is on MTV. I saw like maybe 5 minutes, and this was like after I found out that the girlfriend was messing around with her music producer, and she didn't tell the music producer that she was in a relationship. Turned out she was apparently doing what she was doing because her current boyfriend, had done it to her. And the host's like, you did it to her, so you can't get mad at her for doing it, but it doesn't make it right, but you need to work this out, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, shut the heck up. When they come out like, oh, I'm beat, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, this is fake as heck. Because usually they end it and they talk about it offset, like, wow, crazy, things like that. No, it was just like, that was fake as heck. And even the way the girl was dressed, I'm like, oh my God. Like, what the heck? And there was this other show. Oh my God. I saw like 2 episodes of this show. And it was called Why Are You Hiding Me? Or Why Are you keep something about a secret relationship? Am I in a secret relationship, or why are you keeping our relationship a secret? Something like that. So the first episode I saw, the girl was annoying as heck, and I usually don't go around telling people are annoying like that. But this, all the more, like, it really, really was like, this is so fake. This is scripted as heck. This is bad. So basically, the young lady was dating a real estate agent, and she felt like he was hiding her because she keeps asking to meet family. He goes, no, 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 no. So she called these two people up. She calls the host of the show, and they of course end up doing the investigating. So they show her, I believe they confront him, they bring him in, and they show her some videos of him. And it turns out that this guy has a side hustle, which he says, yeah, I do a side hustle, and the reason why I'm doing that is to try to get a little more money in the pocket. And she's a bit confused. She's like, well, what do? You already have a successful job. Why this? And he goes, just a little extra money, there's it's nothing like that. So they show him video, and he's doing like a kind of stand-up comedy show with a twist. And the twist is really, really adult content. Now, you have to be a rocket scientist to know what I'm talking about. But clearly, it was one of those shows where they sell certain items that are most definitely not for kids. So it's like a comedy show, and as they're doing the comedy show, they're trying to sort of off these merchandise, this item. And at times they test it out. So, and they use it in a skit. So he's testing it out on another person, a guy. And as she's watching, he's slapping her. Like, as if it's distressing. As if it's like, I saw that clip, and I was just like, that's something you see at a Jackass one. The stuff that he was doing was what you would see in Jackass. Why is this distressing? I can understand because I saw a clip of that same show. Or it was Ghosted? Well, they were the hosts, but they were the same host, but it was on a different show. It was called Ghosted or whatever. And they were trying to figure out why ghosted or something, or like something. And I guess they found out why this guy was ghosting the girlfriend or whomever she was. He was decked out in the kind of attire you would see if you really, really entered the world of Christian Grey. Now, if you know the character Christian Grey, then you know the book where he's from, 50 Shades of Grey. That I can understand why that would be distressing, because it's just like, you have the lighter tone of that style, and then you have the really, really dark tone of that style. That is for everyone. And she went into understand that world, and you can see she's like, this is uncomfortable. Of course, it's not for everyone. Now, the way this young lady who's like, oh, he's slapping, she made it look like it was like the dark tone of that. It was something like you would see from Jackass. And I know this because I watched Jackass as a kid. And that's what the show was about. A bunch of jackasses being jackass. You know. Oh, it's slapping. And then after the segment, she said, you need to quit this job. I'm sorry, but if that's helping getting extra money in, because as a real estate agent, if I remember correctly, they get their money from selling houses. And sometimes that's not always a guarantee. You know, I think it's like commission. They get commission. I don't know exactly, but I know they get their money from selling houses, which is commission. So depending on the commission, depends on how much money they get. So for him to try to get extra money on the side just to be on the safe side, that is what I call, saving for a rainy day. Because he even said it. Try to get money for us. So she tells him to quit his job. Yeah, I'll quit my job. I'll quit that job. And then after the segment, the parents come over. And I'm like, that is so fake as heck. It would have been better if he took her to the house where his parents were, and they met the parents. The parents come out of nowhere. The guy's parents come out of nowhere. He goes, hi. I'm like, how fake is that? That is so fake. And then there's another episode of the same show where this guy felt like his girlfriend was messing around. So they go to someone who happened to know the girlfriend to sort of understand some background of her. This dude, when you first see this dude, you could tell was an attention seeker, would pretty much say anything just for attention. And as I'm watching how this guy is acting and everything, I'm like, I don't think I trust you with a 50-foot pole, dude. Like, you just saying stuff just to say stuff. Basically, bashing this girl, like who he calls her, basically bashing her. Like, this dude wanted a chance to bash this girl. Like, nah, F you, dude. It was just so fake as heck. And when they find out that this young lady is not having an affair, but it has a close relationship with another girl who just so happens to be in love with that girl. And the guy finds it so like, oh, this is hot. Because he sees two girls. And I'm like thinking, dude, if it was a dude, you'd be like, because he tried to bust in where she was. He tried to bust in. So it was just like, this is fake as heck. And I think that show's no longer with us anymore. And then another show that started out real, like, was Ghost Adventures. Now, Ghost Adventures, they at times do get authentic evidence, and other times it's just completely dramatizations, them doing stupid stuff. It's just like, it's not like Ghost Hunters. Ghost Hunters started out, you had a lot of authenticity to it. And then there was some controversy. I don't know the full story. I kind of stopped watching it after a while, but from what I heard, there's some controversy that, because you had this was taps. They were published by day and Ghost Hunters by night. And they would take house calls to see haunted places. And you had Alan and Grant. And I guess Grant was doing something that had caused people to question the authenticity of Ghost Hunters. Apparently, he did a bogus evidence, apparently. I don't know. This is what I had heard. Which is why Alan does not talk to Grant anymore. Because Alan from day one wanted this to be real. He wanted to find, he knew about the supernatural. Although he was the skeptic, he was the one that I am skeptical, but I do believe something's up and I want to see it. So there was like this huge controversy that Grant falsified evidence, and it really brought the authenticity of the show into question. Like Ghost Adventures. Ghost Adventures, like I said, I called out a lot of stuff that's fake. Especially, there was this one episode where it's fake as heck. Even the person is trying to defend the episode. It was in Seattle, and the gentleman was called Kyle Lethal, and he's lived in Seattle where this was all happening. So he called Ghost Adventures, Zach, to help him out because apparently Bibles were being on fire and a lot of unexplainable hostile things were going on. So I saw that episode. And as I'm watching this episode, nothing's happening, which is true. Nothing's happening. And make you think, oh, the people were just wasting their time. Now, Zach says he felt very standoffish with the girlfriend. And Zach and the girlfriend, not his girlfriend, but the girlfriend of the owner of the house who lives in the house because they were together, Kyle. The girlfriend is in the living room and he said he feels kind of standoffish while being around her. And she says it's in the room, it's here in this room, it's not up there, it's here in this room, I can feel it. So Zach goes into the kitchen. This is all our night kitchen. Zach goes into the kitchen, I guess to sort of like get a moment. And she kind of comes behind him and kind of goes in his face and goes, ugh, and then she kind of walks off. So when I'm seeing this, I'm like thinking, this is like, she's kind of mean mugging the guy. So when she's mean mugging the guy, she's not under the influence. She's completely mean mugging the guy and going, what are you doing? Like that face, like, what are you doing? Get over there. Like, I'm like, yeah, no. And then apparently at the end of the episode, the homeowner contacts Zach again. It says, there's pants and it's been nailed to the closet. Yeah, so a ghost nailed it to the closet. Yeah, you went about it. Well, anyway, the gentleman who was in that episode who owns the house, he's trying to defend it. He's also explaining that his time during the after the air, he says it was hell. The girlfriend and him are no longer together. Apparently, they were getting a lot of negative comments and emails stating that they wasted Ghost Adventures' time, that, that they're lying, everything's fake, yada, yada, yada. And he claims that a lot of stuff that Zach was doing, kind of like how Zach was being a douche canoe. Well, he was being an a-hole. And he was like, didn't like the way, he said it was like the mafia, like, I don't know. So he stuff to defend that, hey, no, this is real. Sorry you guys didn't get it on, but this is real. And, yeah, so Ghost Adventures, yes, I know it's fake, but it's entertaining. It's just like Mountain Monsters. It's fake, but it's entertaining. And that's what I look at. Ghost Adventures, yes, the evidence they do get is authentic. But it's just like, the rest is just like, yeah, I kind of at times have a hard time taking them seriously. There's another show called Paranormal on Camera. And basically, when people send in clips of their paranormal experiences, whether it be of ghosts, aliens, or cryptids, that kind of nature, and they send it into Paranormal on Camera. Now, some clips are like, whoa, and others are just downright fake. Like this one guy in Australia who swears up and down that his house is being terrorized by an entity. So he comes home, he has his camera rolling, and he sees that the door is propped wide open. So he goes and he goes, someone's in the house. And there's like a figure sitting on the chair. And you could tell it's a wig. The person's got like wearing like these kind of gloves. Is wearing these kind of gloves, and I know because I own these gloves here. So is wearing these kind of gloves, has their face painted full on, is wearing a wig, which you could tell is a wig, And when the guy comes in, the supposed creature comes in, teeth out. All you see is white teeth. And the guy rushes up. You don't see the creature running after the person. Like I said, it's all makeup. Is wearing claws like this, pretty much exactly like this, and it says in makeup, full blown facial makeup. You go, like I could do that too. It's like, no, no. You're not. Yeah. And then there's another one where the Pale Man, which almost looks like a English rendition of the Rake. And the Rake, for those of you out there, is like a humanoid creature that eats people and from creepypastas. So he's going through the abandoned house, and at one point the Pale Man comes out and he starts screaming, "Oh my god, help me!" and turns off his flashlight, and the creature goes away and turns back again. How original, how convenient. But when it freeze frames, it pauses and freeze frames on the creature's face, it looks exactly like the costumes you would see from Spirit Halloween. Which is exactly where I got this from, Spirit Halloween. And a set of scarecrow gloves. Come on now. So a lot of the clips they're airing, they're not going to admit it, but it's pretty evident to say it's fake. It's fake. Some are real, others are not. The one clip still to this day, I'm going to say fake as heck, is this boy from Africa who can make his teeth elongate, like as if he's possessed by a vampire or a werewolf. He goes, and you see, the teeth going, and like, of course, he does like this shows. Doing it for years. It's a magic trick. He's gonna put it under certain mouth where you're not gonna see it. Come on now, it's fake as heck. I call it as I see it. It's fake as heck. So, yeah, it's just nothing has genuality anymore. I understand over time things have to change, things evolve, money changes people. A young lady from a reality TV show said, reality TV doesn't turn people into the way that they see on the TV. It just brings out what's already inside you. So if you already have that inside you, of course reality TV is going to bring it out. If you don't have that inside you, it shouldn't matter. So reality TV can change people and stuff. It just brings out what's already inside, which I do agree. I do agree. If you're a good person to begin with, then you should be acting like an a-hole. Simple enough. But yeah, what do you guys think about reality TV? Because when it first started, it was reality. It was chronicling the lives of people. Now it's just for really bad entertainment. They don't make them like they used to anymore. So what do you guys think? Is authenticity gone, or is it just taking on a new form? Let me know.